Hi everybody, Jill here. Welcome to my channel. So glad you decided to join me for a little bit today. Doing our weekly check-in. You all decided, you voiced your answer to my question last week, which is, do you want me to continue to do these weekly, even if there's not a whole lot to really tell you, like no big changes and all of that? And you all pretty much said you would like me to continue to do that. So here we are. We're doing our weekly check-in. Telling you how much weight I lost this week, if anything. Today's Sunday, so this is when I give myself my injection. I'll let you know if I increased or I'm staying at 5 milligram again, and just any other little things I may have noticed crop up this last week. I also want to share with you a supplement powder that I discovered. It's very interesting, and I like the philosophy behind it. I have not been taking it long enough, though, to be able to tell you and share with you that, oh my goodness, I feel this difference or this difference. But I really don't think it's hurting, because these are legitimate, great sort of supplements for age support in general. So anyway, I'm going to share with you that because I haven't seen it really around, and you do have to order it. It is an Australian-based company. Anyway, so I'm going to share with you that. I've been doing that every morning, and I'll have to share with you what I know is connected to that as well, a little bit of side effect there. But so this last week, very fatigued, tired, but it has to do with the fact that I'm not sleeping well. Loki, for some reason, is still getting up. Like this morning, it was in the 6 a.m. hour, and it was toward, closer to the 7 a.m. hour, but it was still at 6 a.m. hour. And that is not when I naturally would like to be able to get up. And then we just stayed up after that. It just wasn't early enough to truly go back to bed, because I feel like then I might have slept until 10 or something. So we've been up since then. And also I've had a couple nights where I had a real hard time falling asleep, and then he'll get up early. So it's not like I can make up for that on the other end, really. So I think it's more me struggling with my sleep, which is something that always is a thing with me. This is my third week. I'm going to be starting my third week on technically the 7.5 milligram dose. This is supposed to be my third week of that. However, I opted to just continue taking the 5 milligram last time and even the time before that because I was losing weight. I was having appetite suppression. I just didn't, the food noise wasn't there still, and I just didn't feel that I needed to go up a dose, So now this morning, actually it was more in the noon hour, because I took my injection a little later than I usually do. The time kind of got away from me. So I did decide to do the 7.5 this time. Why, you ask? Well, I felt like some of the food noise was coming back, and it definitely, it's hard to tell. I almost did another week of 5 only because that food noise was definitely escalating past that 5-day mark. And so the last 2 days, and especially the last day, I wouldn't say it was back to where it was before all of this, but it was definitely coming into the picture again. My appetite suppression, I feel, was still pretty good. Just more food noise. And I hate that, because then I'm thinking about food, or I'm thinking about what I would like to be eating, even though I don't maybe have it, which I'm going to take a sip of this. I did a really stupid thing and realized I gave myself my injection today, even though it was 12 something, without anything in my stomach. I hadn't eaten anything yet, which I usually try to drink one of these about 20 to 30 minutes before I take my shot, and I didn't. So I'm trying to get through one of these. So hold on while I take a sip. This is the only one I have yet to try when it comes to protein shakes that I can tolerate. It's the Nuri, the vanilla. I'm not I have tried, it's like, why mostly, do they make chocolate shakes when it comes to these protein things. I don't know. I'm not into flavors, so I'm not into strawberry, and I'm not into cookie. I'm strictly a vanilla person, but it's like if I were to have to choose between one of those foo-foo-y flavors and chocolate, I would choose chocolate if vanilla wasn't available. But this also comes in chocolate. So if you are a chocolate person, they do have this in chocolate as well. But there is 30 grams of protein in one of these. And that is something that I wanted to talk to you about as well, because I'm really bad when I run out. I get these at Costco, and I don't like to physically go into Costco, so I put in orders and they're delivered to me. It's like I rather pay the extra and the extra little bit of tip to do that. I just hate parking at Costco. I hate browsing around in Costco. I hate loading my car. I hate bringing it in. I just hate it all. So, but, you know, it's like I'll run out, but then I really don't order a lot from Costco. It's just me. So if I'm running low on, I don't know, paper towels, or I do like the 000 yogurts. So if I run out of I have to wait until I can order those 3 things, or at least 3 things. And so I can go a week or maybe even 2 without protein shakes. And I've realized that these are really key for me. They help me get that protein goal. I want to do at least 100 grams of protein every day. And this helps me get there. So when I don't have these, I don't reach that. And I start to not feel that great, you know? And at first I thought I'm not drinking enough water, which, by the way, I've been doing crappy about that. I've been so bad at that. I am surprised that I have not been constipated, because my water drinking has gone down to, so God, what is my hang up with that? I don't know. So this is the Agemate is what I'm going to talk to you about next. This is what I think has been helping me not get constipated because of my lack of water, which isn't good, because I need water, period, for just being healthy. Anyway, so I just got some more of these in last week. And so I've been drinking 1 or 2 a day. And it's like, my muscles feel better. I have a little more stamina. I realized that me feeling that way isn't necessarily water or electrolytes that I need. I just need some more protein in my body. And the electrolytes are needed as well. But I don't know, it was kind of this aha moment for me. So I have to try and keep these in the house and not go 1 or 2 weeks without having any. Anyway, so I'm glad that I can tolerate them. Do I get sick of them by the time? Yes, but they definitely are the thinnest because I don't like the thick protein shakes. They're like, you can almost feel the syrup in it. And these aren't like that. It's more, like drinking milk, or maybe kind of half and half, where not even that thick, but somewhere in the middle there. So, and they're not overly sweet. Anyway, so the 7.5 milligrams happened for the first time. And I am hoping I don't regret that when it comes to, I have not had any side effects. I haven't had any nausea, other than fatigue, which who's to say, is it because I'm not sleeping well? I don't know. But I'm going to say fatigue is one of the side effects I've had since starting this. And haven't had any headaches. I've been doing really well. So if this dose kicks me into some of that, I will go back down to, if not 5, then 6, And I almost did that today. Instead of doing the 7.5, I almost did 6 or 6.5, I was thinking. And then I just drew up the whole 7.5 thinking, no, I'm just gonna do the 7.5. So I'll let you know how that goes. Wish me luck on that. So now, with all of that said, I still did lose some weight. I lost 1.3 pounds. So it's not like I stalled or that I gained weight. And I know in this journey, I am going to do those things. I know there will be weeks where I won't lose anything, or I might even gain. And that is to be expected. So the goal is to lose a little something every week. And I have had weeks, by the way, that I have gained like 0.7 pounds or, so I have had weeks that I've reported that I have gained some weight this week. So it's not to not be expected. And that should be not your main decision on going up a dose, is because, oh God, I didn't lose anything this week. I think you should listen more to the food noise. Are you thinking about food a lot? Are you finding that you want to overeat again? Like you just can't stop eating when you're eating something, and you really have to be mindful of slowing it down and listening to those cues again, so that's kind of the stuff that I felt I was feeling, but it was also not as intense. So maybe I should have just went another week, on the 5, or just upped it a little bit. I'm starting to regret my decision. I did look, and my average weight loss is still like 2.2 pounds a week, because, it throws out the low and the high. So it's still within the 2 pound area, which is where I want to be. I don't want to lose weight too fast. I think I've only had 1 week that I lost like 4 pounds. And I think it was the very first week that I went from 2.5 to 5. I mean, that really was probably the most intense when it comes to no appetite at all. Didn't have nausea or anything like that. My appetite was just gutted. And it was force feeding myself just to eat something. And that's the week I lost 4 pounds. So, yeah. The scale numbers, because I do have a smart scale, and I always am looking at all those numbers and comparing and seeing what's going on. And I have a consistent downward, which is great when it comes to my body fat percentage, and my body fat mass continues to go down. As a matter of fact, I think now I have lost, what is it now? 21.5 pounds total, maybe 22 point something. And 15 point something of those pounds is my body fat, total body fat mass. So all the body fat that's in my body, even the visceral, all of that stuff, I've lost 15 point something pounds of that. So it would be muscle mass would be what I am seeing if I were to look at the numbers. So the other stuff is my muscle mass, and part of that is skeletal muscle. That's what my scale will show me when it comes to those markers. Is one is like muscle mass, so in pounds, and the other is, there's 3 actually, and the other one is skeletal muscle, which is a percentage, I think, and then visceral fat, which is the fat that surrounds your organs. That went from 12 to 10, and it's stuck at 10 now, which is, I love seeing that. I just, like, I'll imagine fat around my liver or my heart or whatever, and it just makes me so happy that that number has gone down. And that number takes a long time to come down, and it's not like it comes down a whole bunch at once, but to see that decline makes me so happy. So, I talk about this all the time, but that's why smart scales are so important, because it keeps you from focusing just on the weight, on the number, that number. You're looking at the big picture. And so there was a week when I had gained like a pound or a pound point something, and I found that I had actually gained some muscle mass. And it equaled that. It's like, okay, yes, I will gain muscle anytime and not lose any fat that week, So it just, it really puts things in perspective, and it's a much healthier way of looking at your weight loss. And so I highly recommend a smart scale. I always put the one that I have down below. It's under $100. You can spend more than that and less than that. I used to have a smart scale before that one, but I replaced it with this one. It was outdated. And geez, nowadays those numbers are pretty darn accurate. And my smart scale that I have now gives me so many more markers to look at. And I just love it. So yeah, I'm really, really happy I did that. So I was online and looking for like a longevity help with aging, and also help with supplements that being on a GLP-1 would be beneficial to my body. And so there's the obvious ones, the B12, the vitamin Bs. It's great to use a probiotic, for instance. And I went over all of the ones that I added probably about a week before I even did my first injection. And I can put that link up here somewhere if you wanted to check that out. But this is something I've added in above and beyond as well. And it's called Agemate. So this is one of those subscription-based companies. However, you don't have to do the subscription if you just want to try it out, and see how your body's doing and all of that. But I opted to go ahead and do the prescription. And when you do, you get this canister. So you pour the powder in here and it keeps it airtight and fresh. And it's a kind of this really pretty blue violet color. And that isn't something they added in to make that color. It's part of, they use it's not a blueberry. I'll put it up here because I can't remember. But I actually am going to read this little pamphlet here about it. So it's not like it was artificially made that color. There's a reason for that. And there, of course, is a little scoop in here. So you do 1 level scoop, and this is something you also get with your first order, which looks like I generally just rinse it out really good and then let it air dry so it looks a little foggy. But you use this I use water from my fridge that I have that's been purified, and you do 8 ounces after you put your powder in, and then you put this lid on, which has got a sealed rubber thing in there, and you just mix it up really, really good. And I sip on that first thing in the morning before my coffee. You have to swirl it as you drink it because there is some powder that just never really gets dissolved. So I just do this while I'm drinking it. Anyway, so let me read a little bit about this. Let me get my glasses on, and I apologize for the terrible glare when I do have to put these on. You do get, of course, this that will kind of, and of course, I really read about this before on their website, and I'll put their website down below. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. So this is the Daily Longevity Blend, because they have other blends as well, but this one really spoke to me. So aging changes everything. Our bodies slow down and produce less of what keeps us feeling young and healthy. So we set out to fix that, they said. So this is their all-in-one supplement for longevity. This unique formula targets aging at the cellular level, like NAD plus glutathione, collagen, and more. With over 50,000 having already discovered Agemate, we're excited to have you join our community. So it helps with energy, recovery, sleep, and metabolism. So they have NAD plus support. They have a DNA repair coming from pterostilbene. Not sure if I'm pronouncing these right. They have L-theanine in here, great for mental function and relaxation. It helps with stress too. They don't have that there, but it does. Spermidine or spermidine, cellular regeneration. Hyaluronic acid, it's great for hair, skin, and nail health. MSM, which is a bone and joint health supplement. And magnesium, which is inflammation support. It has glycine, which is great for collagen production, and methyl donors, which is methylation support. My body does not methylate well, so that's great. So it's not like they put collagen in here, because there's not a lot of scientific evidence that says if you put collagen in your body that it's going to create collagen within your body. But glycine helps with collagen production. So that's one of the things that that they do have in here. So yeah, and there is a picture of what it looks like, that pretty color. And it is really pretty. It tastes fine. I don't find that it has an icky taste at all. You can also make a smoothie with it. They have a recipe for that if that's more your speed. And so their frequently asked questions is how long until I see results? They say probably around 6 to 8 weeks. You could experience immediate effects such as increased energy and improved sleep. Oh, geez, I'm waiting for that one. But it generally takes 6 to 8 weeks for NAD, homocysteine, and glutathione levels to optimize. Therefore, full benefits may take time to appear, and consistency is key. Does it contain sugar? Or will it break a fast? So no, our blend does not contain sugar, nor does it break a fast. It is naturally sweetened with a thaumatin, which does not spike insulin after consumption. Are there any artificial colors or flavors? Nope. Our blend is naturally flavored with refreshing hints of wild berries. The purple hue comes from butterfly pea powder, which is packed with antioxidants to support hair, skin, and nail health. So the new way to age is with Agemate. This is a Australian-based company. So now, on the back of the container, before I put it in this container, I read their suggested, how they suggest to take it and all of that. They actually said you might want to start with like half a scoop. And I'm thinking it's because of the magnesium in there. But me, it's like, I'm just going to do a whole one. So I did. And sure enough, yeah. Even though I take magnesium, which I stopped taking since I'm taking this, but I had been taking magnesium. And it was fine, but this magnesium must be a bit different. But however, this blend, it could be the blend, but I'm thinking it's the magnesium. So yeah, it doesn't happen every day, but I would say every second or third day, maybe third day, then I start getting that little bit of a little bit of that pre-tummy ache thing, but it doesn't take long. And then it's like, oh yeah, I got to go to the bathroom. And then I will. And yeah, and this is TMI, but it's like, yes, diarrhea happens and all of that. And it will happen more than once. So it's like, I really can't leave the house. So that's a bit of a bummer because it's like, if I know, I haven't had to yet, but on days that I know I'm going to be away from the house, I have to do a bit of an errand right now, but I already had my little tummy ache earlier today, so I think I'm okay. I will not take it that day, I think, even though it doesn't hit me every day, but like if I have to go up north to take my husband to a doctor appointment or something, probably will be a little careful there because it's one of those tummy aches that it's like it's urgent. It's like you gotta go, and those aren't fun. So that's a bit of a bummer. But have I cut down to half a scoop? No. Maybe I better. I'll see if I can get away with not getting those if I do a half a scoop, because they said you might want to try half a scoop up to a month and then increase it. So it could take a while. I should probably do that. I think I will. Starting tomorrow, I'll do half a scoop. Gosh. I do have an errand that I got to run today. And I think for the first time, I'm going to order from Panera. And I've been really looking at online at their different sandwiches. My favorite sandwich that they make is called the Frontega chicken. And one whole sandwich is way too many calories and just too many everything. But I think I'll just get a half a sandwich because I think that is around 400 calories, which is, and I feel like it will probably fill me up, but it'll give me enough space in my day where I could do my yogurt and my blueberries later tonight, or, even another little meal that I could do. So I'm thinking about doing that because I ran out of my Tovala meals. Today's Sunday and I get my delivery on Monday. Normally I don't run out because I get 8 meals a week. But 2 times this last week, I went ahead and had 2 meals in a day. So I had a lunch around 11 or 12, and then later on around 7, I would have a second Tovala meal as a dinner. And I just would have to make sure that I looked at the macros and the calories and the carbs and all of that to make sure that the 2 I chose that day wouldn't put me over. And it worked out because some of them I had were only like 380 calories because they were like salads, and I would do that for lunch. So sometimes I do that. And that's the other thing, which is fine because I still, I still met my calorie deficit, just not as much as I normally do, but it was still a calorie deficit. I don't know. To me, that was also another clue. Like, okay, maybe I should go up a dose because I just felt like I needed to eat all the time, even though I was still doing good. So, I mean, maybe this is a mental thing I need to adjust. It's like, Jill, it's okay. You're consuming you're consuming more calories than you've been used to, but you still have room. You still have room to do that. So I think that's more of a mental battle that I need to really make sure that I'm healthy thinking about, Yeah. All right. Is there any news related to the whole debacle of what they're doing regarding these GLP-1s are off the shortage list? So there was a little bit of something that happened, and it's basically a possibility of a price war that could happen. I'm not positive I don't have a lot of good vibes regarding that. I really don't think there is going to be a price war because, semaglutide, which is Wegovy, and Ozempic, they haven't been on the shortage list now too, along with Zepbound and Mounjaro. So they're made by two separate pharmaceutical companies. And first it was the Zepbound company and Mounjaro. They were the ones that decided, okay, we're going to come out with our own vials and use our own pharmaceutical company. And this is the price, that we're putting on that. So they were the first ones out of the two that did that. And then, which I talked about this last week a bit, but then semaglutide, which would be your Ozempic and your Wegovy, they came off the shortage list. And now it was just announced, was it last week or something, that since I've talked to you, so after that, they have their own vials and they're using their own pharmaceutical company, and they have their price now attached to those. And with them, they are offering all their doses at their prices, whereas Zepbound, Mounjaro, they only offered in the beginning just their 2 intro doses, which is 2.5 and 5, and then last week I had told you that now they're adding 2 more. Is that right? 7.5 and 2, or maybe even 3 more. So they haven't, beyond that, they still haven't added all of their doses. But they did lower their prices by $50. And I talked about that stipulation where you can't buy the highest level and then, basically stockpile it and give yourself the lower doses. You can't do that. But now that, the Wegovy and Ozempic they're now offering these, and you can get them in any of the doses. And right now they're at the same price as the lower end now with Zepbound and Mounjaro offering. There's talk that there might be a bit of a price war now, and that might be what gets people to choose one or the other, is who's gonna go lower, because I think right now they're neck and neck. Personally, I think that's where they're gonna stay, but I don't know. We'll see. Could this be the beginning of a price war? Will, Zepbound, or which one will maybe drop it? And that's going to get people to go their way. So time will tell. There hasn't been any new updates regarding that since then, but I will let you know if there is. And let's just hope for a bit of a price war. I mean, that would be lovely. But for the meantime, we have our avenues of still getting our compounded GLP-1s, and they can tweak the dose, and that seems to be how they're going to be doing it, is tweaking the dose a bit, and I talked about that as well. So I'm going to put that link up here, and you can watch last week's, if you haven't already, where I talk about that whole thing. So the last thing I wanted to touch base with you today in our little update is last week I had mentioned that Mochi Health had reached out to me and was asking if I would want to work with them. I had a meeting on last Monday, and I record these on Sunday. So the next day after I talked to you was my meeting. And I wanted to give you a little update regarding what transpired and what all of that transpired into. The meeting was lovely. It was kind of a FaceTime type of meeting, a Google Meet. And she was so lovely, very sweet, answered my questions. So, yeah, I mean, obviously I had questions regarding contract, and it's going to be because I do not do contracts. I just don't. Not when it comes to like me committing to a timeline to where I just don't do that. I never have, and I'm only in with somebody with a contract, and that's Wigs by Patty's Pearls, and that's because they're so lenient and they don't ask much of me really, and they know I'm going to be dead honest with any given helper hair piece with my audience, and they really encourage that, and I love that about them. So this would be a contract I would have to sign, but it's a very short term. I think they only go 2 months at a time. So it's like, okay, I can do that. I can do a short term type of thing. So, I asked questions regarding how they do things, and she went over that with me. But I've never used them. So I'm a little reluctant because even though it all sounds good and it's very similar to what all the other platforms do, I still, it's like I've never tried Mochi Health. I told her I would think about it, and many of you have actually, especially after last week's video, there were a couple of you that said, I have done Mochi Health for months, or even I think somebody said they had done that for a year and a half. They've been very happy. They have no complaints. And hearing that really was helpful. So I think I'll probably do it. I haven't heard that was Monday, and today is a whole nother week. Today is Sunday, and I still haven't signed anything, but I probably will. Just haven't done it quite yet. I am just one of those that I drag my feet if I have to commit to people, because I don't want to let anybody down. I want to make sure that it is a commitment that is going to work for me, obviously. And it will. I mean, they're not asking a ton of me or anything like that. But anyway, and my most important criteria is I am not going to promote anything or share anything with you if I don't truly love it. So it's like, well, what am I going to do? Because I thought about reaching out again and saying, hey, can I try your program for a month before I commit and sign this? Or I thought about it would be fun to just sort of like take you guys along with me with this experience with Mochi, the sign-up process, the how did my doctor's appointment do, and just kind of the whole experience, and have you experience that with me. So I was going to run that by her to see if that is something that they would be open with, because I am going to be honest, and they have to know that. I don't expect there to be a negative experience involved, really. So it's not like that. But if something does occur, I am going to let you know. That's kind of how I want to approach it, one way or the other. So I need to reach out to her again, I think, and run those two things by her and see. But she was really super sweet. If you go through Mochi Health and have been, and you would like to tell me your experience, please do. I absolutely would love that and would find it very helpful. And always check in with me down there. Say hi, let me know how you're doing. And if you're new here and you just landed on here and you've been on a GLP-1 for a while and you would like to share your progress, let me know that too, because we all find those stories really fabulous to read, and it helps to keep us going. So I would love that as well. And I know the rest of us would as a group. So that is my update this week. I hope you have a lovely week ahead, since you're watching this on Monday, I think, unless you caught it in some other time. But if you watch it right when it comes out, it'll be Monday, and I hope you have a great week. If you're watching this in the morning, have a wonderful day ahead. And if you're watching this in the evening, I hope you sleep well. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.